G'day, I'm Brodie Brown, Millionaire Mortgage Secrets, and in today's video, I'm going to cover off a section of my book which I just chucked in there to help people identify themselves with and go, hey, what is my financial personality type? And by that I mean, what is the relationship that I have to money and in particular debt? And it's one of these things now when people book a call with me, they are like, oh, hey Brodie, I think I'm a spoiler, or I think I'm a spring cleaner, or whatever. And it's kind of cool because I didn't think a hell of a lot of it at the time when I was writing the book, but it seems to have been, now become a standout part of the book, all right? So the four financial personality types are, firstly, the spender, spring cleaner, spender, spoiler, spring cleaner, and superstar, all right? So I love the S's, so spender, spoiler, spring cleaner, and superstar. I don't know how I came up with those names, I just kind of came up with them, okay? So let's start off with these people over here. These are the naughty people who have a bad relationship to money. And I want to make this point very clear. I'm not judging, I'm not criticizing, I'm just calling a spade, which is kind of what I do, and I hope that's okay. If you find this offensive, you don't have to watch it. So if you're a spender, you waste money. I reckon if you're a spender, you're probably not watching this video. So let's just do this as an exercise. So spenders, they waste money, they have a negative relationship to money, they have no savings, they usually can't access credit or much in the way of credit, they've got no assets, they buy junk. When they get paid, they buy shit with it. Often these people are smokers, drinkers, spend lots of money on shitty food, shitty takeaway food, eating out. Generally speaking, they don't care about their money, they don't care about themselves, they don't care about their family, they're irresponsible, and I'm going to extend that a bit further. I'm going to say that they are negligent as well. Okay, again, not being critical. How do you know if someone is a spender? Because a spender thinks that someone else, i.e. the government, should take care of them, right? So when I say government, that's other people, that's the taxpayer, okay? There's a dude making the rounds at the moment who's this pikey trash from the UK called, I think his name is Gary Stevenson, and he's a twerp, and he just so happens to be a multi-millionaire, ex-trader who's up to the eyeballs in assets, but he's making the rounds as a communist puppet, and he's saying that that other people should take care of other people, right? Which is not the way it should be. So we need to understand, as a human being and as a responsible adult, that we need to take care of ourselves, okay? So if we don't buy into that way of thinking, in essence, we're saying that other people know better than us, or another person knows how to look after us and take care of us and our family better than we know how to take care of ourselves, okay? So that's the problem with socialism. It's not something I buy into. I'm kind of wearing that across my chest, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you're understanding it anyway, right? So the next one is the spoilers. Love these people. I can't deal with these people at all. They do nothing. They add nothing to society either, unfortunately. So the spoilers, okay, love them, bless them. Usually on the higher income earning side, all right? And what I mean by that is that these people are, generally speaking, they are, educated. They've got a good job, as it were. But the problem is that whenever they get paid, they spend it all. They love spending. They love spending on themselves. They love buying new shit. They love taking care of their kids, their grandkids, their friends. These are the kinds of people that, and you love them for it, they are the ones that buy the prettiest and the fanciest presents for their friends and family at birthdays. They have the fresh flowers, they have the smelly things around the house. It's the guys with the gadgets and the motorbikes and the jet skis and stuff. These people like new cars, new things, okay? They love credit cards, love personal loans. I say presents because it's just one of the things that I've seen along the way. I've just been like, wow, I'm not going to buy anyone that I know that, and my mates might call me tight for that, and that's okay. How do you know if you're a spoiler? Well, you know if you're a spoiler because you're earning good money, but you worry about money. It's ironic, isn't it? So you earn money, you're spending a lot of money, but you're worrying about money. And the other part is that The money worries are the kind of things that are going to keep you up at night. But importantly, if I would ask a spender, rather a spoiler, if they know their, say, the value of their home or their loan balance or how much credit card debt they've got or their budget, how much they spend each month, they can't give me a number. Okay, what's your superannuation balance? I don't know. Okay, so again, not being critical. I'm just saying, these people, bless them. They keep the economy going because they're out buying shit, but they are taking care of themselves, and I think that is sadly that's the majority of people in Australia. Certainly, the majority of people that I've had the pleasure of dealing with. All right, so. These people want to be like the spring cleaners. And the spring cleaner, probably me, I guess. They've got a savings plan. I've got one of them. They've got an investment plan. I've definitely got one of them. I've got both. I love money, okay? I love money. And what I mean by that, I don't love it in a weird way. I've just got a very good relationship with money. The same way if I loved my girlfriend or I loved my parents or, my dog, then I love money. And what I mean by that is I take an interest in it, I study it, I learn about it, I nerd out about it, I talk about money with all of my friends. In fact, most of my friends, they want to talk to me about money as well. I'm, lucky enough to be one of those guys who is a central point of advice for a lot of my friends and acquaintances, which is a pleasure. But I'm also frugal. Okay, if I'm going to put myself in this category up here. And one of the other things I'm going to say, and this is characteristic of everyone that I know who is a spring cleaner, they're tight and loose. What I mean by that is they are frugal, so they're very tight with the dollar. They're the kind of people that are going to drive around the block 3 times to avoid paying for parking. They're going to save on some things. You might go over to their houses and you're like, shit, they earn 300-400 grand a year, but everything's a bit scruffy, it's a bit old, but you might find that they've just got a wicked shoe collection. It's just one of those things. Same thing. They might have a rough old car, and same thing with the way they dress. They might be a little bit, threadbare on their clothes, and they've got a fancy Ducati motorbike, and that's worth, it's a collector's item and something else. So, I've found that spring cleaners like that. Why they like that? I think that it's a reward thing. Girls, they do it in a different way. Their indulgences are generally more experiential. I found in my experience doing this, and what I mean is that women might do things like indulge themselves in drinks and fine dining, or business class travel, or whatever the case may be, because that's just how they have to have it, and that's cool. But they make up for it in another way. So, how do you know if you are a spring cleaner? You know that because you have a lopsided balance sheet. And what I mean by lopsided balance sheet is that, say if this is your assets and liabilities, your assets column is huge and your liabilities column is very small. I did mine recently, and it's like that, and it's kind of cool because it happens over time, and you look at your debt and you go, oh shit, I've got a small credit card and a small mortgage, and I've got a shit ton of assets, and it feels very, very, very powerful. So, lopsided balance sheet, a mix of assets, so home, investment property or two, stocks, shares, collectibles, bits and pieces like art, gold, watches. They might have some crypto assets, if you can call them that, as well. Multiple income sources. So they're getting dividends, they're getting interest, they're getting rental income, they're getting earned income, maybe earned income from multiple different sources as well. And they're the kinds of people that are fully across their financial position. So if anyone asked me what my situation is, I can tell them down to the dollar. I can tell them what I budget, I can tell them what I spend, I can tell them what my repayments are on my home, I can tell them what repayments are on my credit card. I can tell them the value of all of my assets, on a pretty much a daily basis. And something which is also very common is they don't worry about money. and they don't worry about money because they're spending so much time learning about it, studying it to understand it, that they don't feel intimidated by it, and they feel empowered because of the time and effort and energy that they put into it. This picture, right? So when you get these people with a socialist mindset, which, you know, they think that the government, they think that other taxpayers, other people should take care of them, right? So here's the difference. These people are negligent, they're irresponsible, and they don't care. These people, they don't study, right? They don't love money. They've got a bad relationship with money. They don't have a savings plan. They don't have an investment plan. They don't talk about it. They're not frugal, okay? And they are loose, all right? So these people, and they waste, right? So these people just waste money, right? So these people over here, sadly, are expecting these people through their taxes to help pay for them, all right? So don't want to get neggy, but that's just kind of the way it is. What I'm going to do now, before I move on to the ultimate category, is I want to say that, and I know this for a fact, you know, some people say that people can't change, leopard never changes its spots. I have seen it change. I've seen people get good, all right? So I've seen people, right, and good on them too, and they've moved from the spender category into the spoiler category, okay? And then they've gone, shit, now I've upskilled, I'm taking interest in you know, myself and what I'm producing, what I'm creating, and I realise that, all right, I need to contribute in order to be compensated for giving my time and energy and effort into generating and contributing to society. So now I've got this money coming in. Oh wow, I've got access to credit. Oh wow, I'm earning a bit more money. Oh cool, I don't have my spending habits in check. So they're like, shit, right, I'm gonna move up from here. I don't like being a spoiler. I need some wealth and some financial security. So these guys can move up into the spring cleaner. Seeing this transition, like I help a lot of people move from here into there. It starts with the cleanup of credit cards, personal loans, optimizing and improving their mortgage. But most importantly, it's budgeting and getting them thinking about all this kind of stuff, right? Savings plan, investment plan, budget. Right, budget, get that as well, right? They've got both. Get people to love money, you know, hold on to your money. You keep your money, you gotta keep it moving. You gotta donate it. I donate a lot of money actually. And you know, I also spend a bit of money, but I invest most of it, all right? So, and that keeps it circling around. So these people, then they begin to learn and study. They start reading books about it, right? And you know what, and it can get a bit boring. It's pretty much all I do, but generally speaking, you've got to find a way to make it interesting. Talk with your friends about it. Become frugal. Become more tight. All right. So how do you know when you've reached this spring cleaner stage? Well, you've got all these things over here. And the most important thing is, this is the most important thing, is you know when you've arrived when you don't worry. That's massively important because that's financial stress is a leading indicator of lifespan, stress levels, longevity, okay? So believe that, all right? So if you're stressing out because you don't have your shit under control and you got money coming in and it's going out and you don't know where it goes, get hold of it, because if you don't get a hold of it, then it's gonna start to affect your health and long-term outcomes, all right? So the last category is the superstar. Right, now, could have done the star up there, but isn't that pretty? So the superstars, these guys are, guys and girls, very, very hardworking. All right, always working, right? Always investing. Always saving. All right? These people, these superstars, and this is, I can say with confidence that I've reached this level as well. It goes past budgeting. Budgeting is difficult, it's time consuming. I think that you need to know how much you're going to spend in a given year and keep within that range. But they've reached this point. It's called spending awareness. What I mean by spending awareness is that before any money goes from them to anybody else, which is what you're doing, all right? Do something, you give something to society, they give you money, and then you have to keep it going or you have to keep it, all right? When you reach a point where you're beyond budgeting, you've reached this point where, or the place where I call you are spending aware. So every dollar that you're spending, you're thinking about it. You go, what am I going to get from this? Right? What am I going to get out of this? Okay, really important. These people have kind of elevated their game to a situation where, well, I'm talking more than 50%. All right, so greater than 50% of the income is, I say passive. I think passive income is such a misnomer. I think it's a lot of shit actually. But what I mean by this is that 50% of their income is generated or derived from assets, investment, right? Investments. So look, this is, if you are a spring cleaner, you're going to turn into a superstar. The thing is that superstars are born later in life. So depending on when you started, in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s, if you reach this point where the majority of your income is being generated by your investments and you are very, very comfortable, okay, you're content, happy, but you don't have to be satisfied. You can be happy but not satisfied, which is kind of cool if you think about it. So you've got all these things, you have zero worries, okay? So no money worries, no worries. And I'd say the last thing is that it's a game, all right? So for these people, money, and this, it really comes with investing, all right? So once you've built yourself up to the point of you're not an employee, you're not a small business person, you might be a business owner, and you've invested to such an extent that now money is a game because you're just investing. So you're literally moving your money around from place to place, chasing after the greatest return on your money. So then you're a superstar, all right? So listen, the superstar mindset, maybe that's something that you could work towards getting yourself into, but certainly just remember, again, we're not stuck in a particular category. We can all improve and get better. Hopefully we don't regress and go back a step, but you know, life goes in phases and stages. We all know that. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Cheesy question. I wonder if you might be able to like and subscribe to this video and subscribe to my channel. It'll really help me out. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you want to book a call with me, you can click on the link below.